Okay, the very next step is to add personal relatability near the intro. So this could be a personal story. This could be also a metaphor. It could be uh, really something that really helps draw a consumer in and to help you connect with the consumer or help them connect with the content, and and basically to relay that I get it, right? So somebody has a problem and you have the solution, obviously, and you want to relay not only that you get it, but if you can relay that like in a personal way, what they say is that when you're vulnerable, that lends to connectability, right? And now, if you're a good writer, I want to say this again. If you are, well, good writers can follow this too and have tremendous success. But if you, for some reason, feel like you don't need these steps, you could skip these steps. But in my own content, if I have a writer that I've hired and I want somebody to help me to create a rough draft, kind of a rough, some ideas in a rough draft, just like I would have someone hired, a virtual assistant, to help me with the content outline, then I want to provide kind of a step-by-step pathway along the way. So let's take a look at this. So you want to think of the feeling of their search intent. So somebody who wants to start a business, maybe there's a little anxiety, maybe there's a little bit of angst, maybe there's a little nervousness, right? Or there's a little bit of excitement. You could just think of, or curiosity that someone wants to start a business. What goes into that? What's in their mind in terms of what they're looking for? And then do we have a personal story that can help connect with that emotion to show that we can guide them along this little path here? There's also there's something that's called there's basically a summary of a problem solved. So in sales, if somebody comes up with an objection, basically they're presenting a problem. I've done sales for a number of years, and one of the things that we do to help show that we get it and we understand is there is what's called the feel, felt, found. And so that is, hey, I know how you feel. I had a client who felt that same way, also felt very anxious. And what they found is, right, so you're using a feel, felt, found. And in sales, I think the best way, we don't want to be pushy and persuasive. What I think the best salesman is somebody who is most serviceful, who really understands, and who can go the distance to be of tremendous value to the customer. I think that those are always the best salespeople, are the people who can actually help somebody in making their decisions, not in a pushy or a scarcity mindset type of way, but in a way that really lends service abundantly. So we can apply some of that same stuff in our at the beginning of our content. So if we can lend a little story, that's great. That's relatable. If we can't think of a story or a personal story, or we have a writer that we've hired to help us, metaphors are fantastic also. You could Google a metaphor. So metaphor for feeling anxious, or metaphor for feeling confident, right? You could look for some metaphors. You just mention a little something at the beginning of the article to show that that is connectable. So let me give you a quick example. We have our intro here. Somebody wants to start a business. I ventured out to say maybe they're feeling a little bit scared, timid, or there's some unknowns, right? And we want to show that we have some confident, we have something to show. This could be fun. It could be really enjoyable, and we know how to get to the state of a successful business and the state of freedom. And anyways, we've captured a lot of that as the intro, but right after that, let's get personal here, right? Let's see if we can share a personal story. And in doing so, I'm going to show you how to dictate this, because I want you to get in the habit of just getting stuff out. And if you can capture stuff, great. Let's capture it. So I understand what it's like to feel uncertain, and then to have somebody step in and provide a step-by-step pathway to certainty and to lend hope. And when starting out building a business, during the research phase and during all throughout launch, it can be invaluable to network with somebody who's been there and who have started multiple successful businesses. Period. This reminds me of back when I was in my environmental psychology class. There was a very successful businessman who owned his own business, helping companies improve their workplace environment and the success of their business through psychology. And when he mentioned that he was a multimillionaire, this immediately piqued my interest. And I wanted, after class, I wanted to know more about what goes into being a millionaire. Period. This was right around the time when I had read How to Win Friends and Influence People. And within that book, they suggested to find somebody who's done what you want to do and buy them lunch. Period. So I offered to buy this gentleman lunch and expressed my desire to pick his brain to know how he went about building a multi-million-dollar business. Period. He was kind enough to meet with me soon thereafter at lunch, and the most valuable part of that meeting was walking away with a new belief that building a business is possible. Period. This is why you want to, as one of the first steps, to surround yourself with a network of people who've already traversed the trail of the mountain you want to climb. Period. Now, obviously, during this phase, I'm just trying to collect as much as I can. Now, afterwards, I would go back through and I would, let's just copy that. I would go back through and I would add some details. I would say one of the first steps here is to, oh, here we go. So I already started. The first step when starting a business would be to expand the network of who you know, because it's not always what you know, but who you know, right? So I know that in talking about this, I was saying let's put it towards the beginning. This is close enough towards the beginning, right? So the first step when starting a business, right here. So I'm going to actually add that right under here. So this is obviously very, very rough draft. This is not close to really showing everybody, but I'm capturing a bunch of these ideas, and I'll whittle this down. It's very fluffy. Sometimes I'm very wordy. Sometimes when I talk, so I would go through and I would have an editor go through and make things concise, get to the point. No need to have a bunch of fluff. Or if I was doing this myself, I would go through and edit it up. So it really doesn't have to be this long of a paragraph. But nonetheless, what I love about dictating is it comes across as natural. And it comes across as very real. It's not robotic. So that is that's the next thing. You want to connect, you want to share something, a personal story or a metaphor. So for example, metaphors. So what I was getting at here is belief in yourself, right? So let's do metaphors of believing in yourself. And as you Google this, you'll find what is a metaphor, metaphors that can fit, believing in yourself, metaphor for self-esteem. There you go. Imagine yourself as a blank canvas. When you hear negative comments, if you take them to heart, start believing in them, blah, 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 blah. This right here is also a possible thing to be able to have towards the beginning. And then you could even reference this website if you wanted to. Let's see, where does your self-image, in your opinion, imagine yourself as blank canvas. When you hear negative comments, if you take them on, start to believe them, you are letting others splash paint on your canvas. They can take yada, yada, yada. So I could actually tie that in to, I could tie something like this in the same way in terms of having belief, people's opinion of belief splash on your canvas too. So this, if I wanted to, I can have this be all about believing in yourself. So, and this has to do with, where would this go? Why am I starting a business? Start with why to motivate you. So there's the why, and then there's believing in yourself. Believe in yourself. Let's say that's part of it. So let's do, I'm going to quote, and then I'm going to end quote, and we'll go back through to figure out what we want to actually keep about that and what we want to toss. But then once we're done, we go and mark this as complete. So I will show you how to mark it complete. It's just right here, right here, add personal relatability near the intro, personal story or a metaphor. So one of those two. Once you've done that, you want to highlight a comment stating story or metaphor. So for example, I will come over here real quickly, and I will come over here, and I would say, and I'm just going to highlight right here that this paragraph, I'm going to right click and I'm going to put comment, and I'm going to say personal relatable story. Just comment right there, and that takes care. So now I can check this, highlight a comment stating story or metaphor. Done, and you come over here, add personal relatability in the beginning, done. So those two are done.
If your business is already at 2.5 million or more, we invite you to check out our 10x Accelerated program at 10xflowseo.com, where we can work together to help you reach 50 million or over 100 million per year. If you're not yet at the 2.5 million per year, then feel free to like and subscribe to help keep applying all this video knowledge, our entire playbooks designed to help you get to 2.5 million per year for free.